Good evening, everyone. Yes, good evening, everyone. Thank you for that short video. Let me put in small words. Afflatus Africa is a Pan-African youth organization with a mission to unveil the African youth potential through an inclusive and dynamic co-learning environment. And I'm your host tonight. I would like to welcome you in tonight's event. It's Learning for Change. So we have 1 hour, exactly 1 hour and a few minutes, then we can go, we end our program. I would like to also welcome all of you who are connecting. Yes, so Learn for Change is a program that aims at helping youth realize the essentials for purposeful life through trainings, conferences, and inspiration and motivation talks, just like the one we are having tonight. Yes, give me a few minutes, then I know whether you can all hear me very well. Give me a short sign and I know that you are all hearing me very well, please. Yes. Yes, thank you. So tonight's topic, it's called Secrets to Know Your Career or Talent at an Early Age, if I can say so. So we get to know if it is really a secret and why. How can I discover my career or talent and why is it so important? We have two guests tonight. The first one I will introduce is Miss 2021 Grace Ngabire. She's the current Miss Rwanda, and she's also a dance enthusiast and a Rwandan professional dancer. She majored in dance with specialization in psychology and philosophy and globalization at Bates College, that's in Maine, US. Currently, she's working with a project called Ichiringo that aims at promoting and protecting local dances in Rwanda across Africa. And our second guest is called Gabriel Dubia. He's a servant of God and is a co-founder of Sons of Korah International Ministries. He's a business enthusiast and is a mentor to many. He has taught on different platforms, both local and international audience, and has influenced different youth to tap into their potential, whether in Rwanda or even in other countries. Those are our guests of tonight as we embark on our topic of today, which is secrets to know your career or talent early. Let me ask them to turn on their cameras and audio as well. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Yes, we are glad to hear from Miss Grace. It's good, Miss Grace.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Gabriel, can you greet the audience of tonight?
Welcome all of you, and I greet you all. Thank you so much. I hope the sound is okay.
Yes, we can all hear you. I hope the audience can hear you as well. Yes. So we will go straight with tonight's hot discussion. I think it's a topic that many young people have had different time, if I may say, difficult time knowing or defining their career path, discovering their talent, and it's quite a good thing that we have such platforms, such discussions to learn more of how do I know my talent, which choice should I make when it comes to my career. There have been many many articles, many platforms taught about career, different mentors and even international speakers talk about this. And yeah, Rwandan youth need to also hear this is a conversation that never gets out of time, if I may say so, because each day, every time we need such mentorship, we need such discussions. Yes. Before we go into the questions, I would like to let the audience know that you can yes. So I introduced you, start up with let's say ladies first. Miss Grace.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Can you tell us in short about what inspired you to go for the contest? Let's start with that. And how do you align your different projects to fall into your career path? Over to you.
So much. So to answer your question, I was motivated to pursue the line of running for Miss Rwanda because I believed it would provide the support system I need. And so first of all, yes, I wanted to do different dance projects, and I thought the like the support system I would get, just even having that spotlight where people know what you're doing, would help me in one way or another. But also, like, I had other interests, some interests that don't necessarily have to do with what I'm doing as a job, as a career, but just like things that I'm passionate about, that I want to talk about. So I thought that Miss Rwanda would give me that platform to kind of talk about them, do something about them. So I could say that's basically why I joined Miss Rwanda, but mainly because I thought the support I would get would boost my dance business tremendously, and my other dance projects. Yeah.
Yeah, talking about the dance projects, can you tell us about this Ichirongo project?
Yes. So Ichiringo project is not mine. It's for the company that I was working for called Benetico. That's actually why I joined the project, because the project was trying to promote local dances in Rwanda and in Africa. And because I'm very passionate about anything that has to do with dance, and even more so having to even learn more about my culture, I took up that opportunity. So yeah, but yeah, the goal of the project is to promote like local dances in Rwanda, and also local dances in other countries, but also promote their authenticity. Sometimes they evolve, but being able to document the original forms as well as how they've evolved over time. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Gabriel, is there anything as such as talent? The other day I was discussing with a colleague of mine. He was like, talent, he was not for talent. He said that any skill that you can do and perform well, that should be your focus. Like the focus should be you excelling in whatever you're doing. But can you tell us, is there anything such as talent, and how do I define talent from any skill that I may have?
Thank you so much. This is Alice. Thank you so much, Miss Grace, our Miss, for your position. Thank you so much. There is such a thing. And on my first point of view and approach is that there is nothing as important in someone's life as his talent. I even think that, personally, on the perspective of the gospel, for example, which I stand for mostly, I've been doing ministry. I believe that a talent of a person or a gifting of a person is what's supposed in the plans of God is supposed to make to help him to live actually. There is no such a thing for the plans of God for man, such a thing as job. No. God gave people gifts and talents to survive and live by it. That's why you will see people with talents. I can say are the people who even earn more money today in the society. People who discover their talent are the people who even have more money because there is such a thing as a talent. And what I love with talent is that it's easy for you to use it. Okay, you don't need guidance. You just need to perform it and to perfect it. So there's such a thing as a talent. But what I can say about skills is that skills is like the additional thing you need for your talent to be perfect. I don't believe that you should get skills out of your talent. You should get skills for your talent. That's my approach. We get to know to get skills for the talents already we discover. So my approach on this is that we need first of all to discover our talents, our giftings, and then we search for skills to perfect, to make our talents be more beneficial and be helpful for people who approach us and who frequent us mostly. That's what I can say.
Yes. So why is it important to know one's talent and choice of career at an early age?
What I can say is that when you discover your talents or your giftings, which you use to create a career, I think that the benefits of discovering it earlier is because you have more time to exploit the talents and the giftings in your career. When you discover your talents earlier, you have more time to exploit it in all the corners and all the angles. When you discover it earlier, you have more time. And the blessing of youth is that they have time. There is not such a thing as time. Okay? There is not such a thing as time. For you to know the importance of time, draw near to people who are old. They will tell you the importance of time because there is no such a gift as time. Now, the importance of discovering your talent and your giftings early ages it's because you have more time to develop it and to exploit it to take your life from one level to take it to another level. And that duration of and that journey of using your talent and help it with people is what we call your career. Okay, your career in that talent, your career, and that's what I can say. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. We get back on that. Miss Grace, can you tell us how do I make my talent fruitful in terms of reaching a point to make a living out of it?
Thank you so much. I think I'm actually learning from Gabriel. But I think so far from my little experience, because I'm young, I think I'm also on a journey, is what I can say. So I think I'm also still discovering. I've been reading a little bit about how do you turn your talent or your gift into something that is beneficial to others, but also something that you can actually make a living out of. So I really like what Gabriel just said about that. That's actually how we're meant to live. So it's very good insight. But for me, I think so. I think like just basically once you invest in your talents, I think that's the first thing. So you know you have this gift. Let's say I love cooking, or for my sake, I love dancing, and I love it so much. So I'm always doing it. But I think for it to actually have a lot of value, I think investing in it. So investing in it means learning more about it, so that you actually increase the value of what you are gonna produce, or what's gonna be what you're gonna present to others. So I think that's the first thing I can say. Investing in your talent. That's what I'm trying to do. Trying to learn as much as I can. Yes, I love it. Yes, I already know something, but like investing in it so I can learn more. That way I'm actually able to share it better, explain it better, present it better, and even just discover more about it. That way I know what's of value to others and to myself. When something is of value to others, it always helps you to make a living, because people will pay for it. So that's what I can say. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. I feel like touch a little bit. He said that it's good to discover it at your early age for you to have time to explore it more. But does a person who is a bit advanced in age, is it too far, or is it still too late for him to discover his talent?
Are you asking me or Gabrielle?
Gabriel, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the question. What I can say is that it's not too late. It's not too late. Now, that's where my domain comes in when now we speak about God. So that's when God, there's a man called Moses. God appeared to him and gave him what we can call a career, something to do and a task to do. And what I love with this story is that he was 80 years old. Imagine a man of 80 years old telling him that now I'm going to use you. The Bible says, for example, that a living dog is more than a dead lion. Why? Because the Bible precise that there is hope when there is life. When you can still wake up in the morning, even if you remain with 1 hour of living, there's still hope that you can achieve great things. Other things that yes, but you can probably have the same result as the one who got to know his gifts when he's still young. But I think you can still go for it because you don't know your time and you don't know the opportunities. The Bible says that the one who runs is not the one who wins always the race, because there is chance and opportunities, and that's what is important. So at any age you discover your talent, just go for it. You might see God putting on your way all the opportunities you lost for all the years, and in 3 years you can achieve what you could achieve in, for example, 30 years. For example, the man that the Rabbi Jesus Christ, for example, he only did his career for only 3 years. It took him only 3 years. And today, Jesus is the most known person in the entire world. They say there's some research that went out recently that in 1 second, 1 million people speaks about the name of Jesus. This is a man who only did his work for 3 years. Now, the problem is not the time you discover it, but the way you will fulfill and give yourself wholly unto it without going astray of it. That's what I can say. So there's still a chance and still hope for that person.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Grace. What are the key things that you find to be important while building a career?
Okay. Thank you. Is it okay if I add something to what he just said? But it's also, it's gonna fit into actually that question, because you just asked what I think is important when building a career, right? Okay. So to add on what he just said, which also answers the question you just asked. So like I read somewhere that sometimes, because throughout life you have different passions. So when you're a child, you might maybe have a dream of selling ice cream when you grow up because you really love ice cream and you're like, when I grow up, I'm going to have an ice cream business, and because I'm really passionate about it. Because a lot of people say follow your passion, things like this. And then when you grow up, you basically start an ice cream business, but you don't like it. You're no longer as interested anymore because you don't love ice cream as much. So I say this to say that things change. You might love accounting right after college, but then after 10 years, you don't love it as much. And maybe you are interested in something else. So to add on what Gabrielle said, you might actually have a talent. Like, for example, Condoleezza Rice was used to be a classical musician, but she was a politician. And so basically you might have like other talents in addition to what you're already doing. And so it's okay, I think, to explore that, whether you discover it late or you knew you already had it, but you just didn't have the confidence to go for it. Sometimes I think a time reaches and you feel like what you've been doing no longer gives you so much fulfillment. And I think it's okay sometimes to venture out. And sometimes you don't even have to completely venture out. I think you can just have multiple sources of income. So you can basically, like, maybe Gabriel teaches the word of God, but then he also probably does other things on the side. So basically having multiple interests and actually using them to make a living, I think. So I guess that also kind of answers my question partly. And then I think the second thing I can say is knowing what you're good at. So in addition to basically exploring all your interests and knowing they can all actually help you make a living, I think the second thing is like knowing what you're good at. So sometimes you might love something, but you're not good at it. Or you might be good at something, but you don't love it. So I think one key is actually the intersection of that. So do you love something, but are you also good at it? Because then it has value, and then you can make a good career out of that. So I guess finding your talent, what it helps you with is because you already know what you love. So now what you need to do is invest in it so you become good at it, and it can help other people. And like the third thing I would say is sometimes I think like what brings us fulfillment is things that actually betters other people's lives. I think so many studies have been carried out and people have like jobs that help them make a lot of money, but they don't seem as happy in those jobs and they end up leaving them and they go maybe start a whole different agriculture project, and people are like, are you crazy? You just left an investment firm, because maybe they're not as happy there. Because they don't feel like they're actually making a difference, like a substantial difference in people's lives. Maybe because they don't agree with the values of their employer. Maybe they have different values. Maybe the employer wants to maybe just make a profit, but maybe that person wants to actually do work that leads to customer satisfaction. So that disconnect makes them not happy at their job. So I think maybe another key is like, do you feel like you're doing something that is actually impacting people's lives in a great like in a great way, or in the grand scheme of things? Because I guess like Gabriel said, when you're older, that's when you know the value of time. So I think at a certain age you start to realize, I don't feel as happy in my job, and maybe the underlying factor is because maybe what you're doing is helping you because you're making money, but it's not really contributing to people's welfare. Like, it's not well-being, if I can say. So I think those are the three key things that I can say. Maybe Gabrielle can help with the rest. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, you just answered my question before I asked it. But I will ask it anyway. I will ask it anyway and then hear from Mr. Gabriel's point of view. So she explained it actually. That's the frustration that most of people face in life, whether you are young or old. The frustration you have in your career that does not satisfy you as a person. So what can a person do to be sure or to make the most out of their career and why satisfying their inner peace, their joy, their happiness, and their fulfillment. What can a person do? Does he or she change career to find satisfaction, or there is still a way that he or she can modify it in any way? Please answer us.
Me or still me? Or
Both
Gabriel?
of you. Okay, let's start. Get back to you. I think you
Okay.
have something to add on as well.
Okay.
What I can say, thank you so much, our miss. I'll keep on adding our miss because we are random. It's our miss for the calling from outside. Thank you so much for the approach. I really liked it. So what I can say is, even when I saw the topic presented to me yesterday, what I love about this topic is that it really answers one of the things I've been asking myself. The problem we have today is not people who have careers. A lot of people have a career, and getting a job is not that much easy, but to get a job, anyone can work and start any career. But the problem we have is that we have people who are into careers they don't love. That instead of doing something you don't love, use it to probably later do what you love, but don't do what you don't love. Because most of stress that's come out other diseases and kills people, or people don't know, but it comes from the unsatisfaction they have in the careers they choose, probably by the pressure of parents, pressures of friends, and pressure of also these great men who are succeeding. The fact that one person succeeded in a career does not mean that it fits you. That's very important. Now, we need to know that even these people who are succeeding in certain career took their time. When they started, they didn't started succeeding. So the fact that they're succeeding doesn't mean that the lane is yours. You can also go into it. No, it doesn't mean like that. So you need to take time and discover first what is my gift, what is my talent. Take time to discover it and then go after it. And if you can go after it in the moment, use another career, for example, choose it, but always having purpose that you have to come back and do what you are good at. Because doing something you don't love, probably in the moment won't cause effect, but after it will cost you a lot of things. For example, one of the things is regret. Do you know, spending 10 years doing something you don't love? Believe me, even if you don't want it, even if you do sport every day, we develop some disease of the heart because that routine makes you sick. You know, waking up every morning at 7 a.m., going to a place you don't want to go, seeing and sometimes you don't have a problem with the boss. You know, when someone is into something he knows to do and knows that is his talent, you don't wake him up to go to work. Today, for people to come earlier to work, it's they have to put punishments for them to come earlier. But the person who's into what he loves, you don't need to wake him up. I don't think that is a problem for let me use his name, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo, to wake up in the morning and go to training. You don't need to wake him up. He will also actually he will even work overtime because he's into what he wants. And I believe that this is not for some people. No. Everyone, I believe one thing, I don't know, you also probably give your idea about it. I believe that no one was born for nothing. Everyone was born for something. And the proof that you came here on earth for something is the desires you have and the dreams that you have and the talents that you have. And sometimes people are so busy looking at other people's life that they're not so much concentrated on looking in their life that when the day you start looking at yourself and try to develop yourself, you will understand that what the best is what you have, not what your brother, your sister have. And you'll be so focused to develop what's inside of you that you have time to grow it and probably after help people to come and join and see and contemplate these good things that you have. And I believe that everyone's career or everyone's gifts was given to answer to a problem. You can't the best way to know the use of your talent is when you discover a problem that you were born to solve. All of us were born to solve a problem. All of us. There are different problems that everyone was born to solve a problem. For example, when in my constitution, the Bible, when God created Adam, okay, in chapter 1, chapter 2, in our constitutions that I believe in, the Bible says that God finished to create everything, but he could not send a rain for things to grow because there were no man to cultivate the place. And the Bible says, and God formed man and he created man. So we understand that the reason why God created man, it's because there was a problem of cultivation. And since that time, when God created man, now growth started and the rain started coming and growth started because there was a man to cultivate. It means that every man that God created, who was born in this world, is born to solve a problem. And when you know the problem you were born to solve, your life becomes soft and easy. And one of the things that help you to understand the problem you were born to solve is that you understand that all problems, you not solve them. I've been watching news recently about what's taking place in Haiti and go back in what is taking place in Afghanistan right now. In one place, I was sad and I really prayed for the Haitians and all Afghanistan, all problems around the world. But in one place, I was happy. What makes me happy is to understand that I cannot solve everything. No matter how good I am, still in Kigali, serving God, there are some things I will not solve. And this helped me to not live a life full of stress. The only thing I can do, I can pray for them, but I cannot solve that. And this gives me peace because now I understand there are some things I will not be able to do. I will appreciate other people and welcome them to do them. Because I know my field, I know what I'm supposed to be solving. And this helped me to also know that everyone else can discover what she or he was born to solve. And for the question you asked me, what can someone do to develop his talent or this and perfect it for its use? In my constitution, again, in the book of Timothy, chapter 4, verse 14, it's written that do not neglect the gift that is in you. That's Paul is writing to his spiritual son, Timothy, saying, do not neglect the gift that is in you, which you were given by prophecy and the laying hands of the elders. Meditate on them, number one. Meditate on them. Give yourself entirely to them, number two, that your progress may be evident to all. You see, before desiring that your progress appears to people, make sure that first of all you meditate on your what do you do with your 24 hours you have a day? Some people use them to go entertain themselves. Some others spend them at work, and they're doing something they don't even probably love. But the Bible says that meditate on it. Think about your gift. Think how to develop it. Take your time. Take some hours and think about how you can develop what you have. Sometimes we are so busy looking at what other people have that we don't have time to focus on what you have. And the day you start focusing on what you have, meditating it, even you start seeing opportunities and how you can use it. Number two, he said, give yourself entirely to them. There's some people who give themselves half and want result of those who give themselves entirely. That's a tragedy that I see among people. Some people want a result of Cristiano or Lionel Messi, and they don't do the trainings as they do. They don't give themselves entirely. They eat like they're supposed to be eating. Yet these men, if you see the food these men eat, you won't like it. Because even the food they eat, the people they go without, the life they live in, it's all focused in what they give themselves into. So if you're not yet ready to give yourself into, and to a point that everything you do goes straight, you know, they introduced me, say that I'm into a gospel ministry. I'm also into business. But everything that I do beside the work that I do, all is for the purpose of what I do. Nothing of what I do it just for fun. No. If I'm going to sport, for example, I will do it for what I'm doing, not for pleasing people. If I'm into business, I will do business for what I am into, to get more money, to develop what I have. But my focus is into this one thing. Paul said that this one thing I do. We don't have two things we do. We always have this one thing we do. And you need to love it so much and give entirely to it, body, soul, spirit. And believe me, the Bible says your progress will be seen by everyone. And you'll be started appreciated. But it will take you sometimes. It will take you sacrifices. It will take you friends. It will take you, it will even take you probably taking a journey, leaving the country and to go another country. Because some talents are not developed here. It will demand you to leave and go to another country where that talent is appreciated. All those sacrifices will take place, but always think about the result and the outcome. That's what I can say.
Wow. Wow. Those are some powerful insights. Thank you so much, Miss Grace.
Yeah.
I would like to ask the person in the technical team to help me with the questions. If the audience have some, please don't hesitate to stop us and put out the question, even though the time is really running beyond us. But meanwhile, let's ask Miss Grace. He talked about different things, really, really different things and powerful things, if I may say so. But he said something quite that hit me, that how the youth nowadays were very frustrated over other people's success. There's this pressure that my peer is succeeding in what he's doing, and that brings me to pressure to find success, and then causing me to skip the process of developing myself and investing myself. So what can you tell those people? What can you tell that person who is pressured, frustrated as well, in terms of building your career and taking step per step? What can you say?
Thank you so much. That's very true. Also, I think the times we're living in are different from the times of, maybe I can say, our parents' times. I think maybe like 30 years ago, the economy was run different. The way people viewed careers was different. Is it a little bit linear? You grow up, you go to school, these are the types of jobs that are there. But now it's a bit more fluid. And also, I think, like you said, because it's not as square as before, there is also like a lot of pressures, because if you see maybe your peers are succeeding and maybe you're not there yet, you're like, oh, maybe what am I missing? What should I be doing? Maybe I chose the wrong career. Maybe I should have done this career. Maybe I should have studied this in school. So I think it's so true. So I think maybe like the first thing I can say is maybe we need like basically like what we're doing right now, like places where we get information like this, whether that's through mentorships or talks like this, so that people actually are able to refocus. Because I think individually it's so hard to do for people to do that. You can't just out of nowhere know everything that Gabriel just said, for example. But so basically, like, if there is platforms, if there's avenues to actually talk about careers, to actually talk about different journeys, especially now where people's journeys are ever so different. Some people don't have to go to college to actually do what they have to do. Maybe there's not like the traditional college. You still have to invest in your work, in your passion, in your talents. But sometimes it's not the traditional route as before. Maybe you don't have to go to like a regular college to actually develop what you're doing. Maybe it's maybe a non-traditional way of investing in your passion. So I think maybe like having many more avenues for people to discuss about this, to be able to learn it's okay to have a different path as the other person, especially during these times, because these times are so different from the past. But also for the older generations, the other part is that the parents should stop, because I think most of the pressures actually sometimes come from the parents, because the parents are like, oh, like so and so's son is doing this and this and this, but you're not doing it. Why are you even doing, like, or some people even have like maybe you chose a different a non-traditional career, and they're like, what, like, but we're not seeing the results. Let's say, like, why are you wasting your time? Because we're not seeing the results in what you're doing. Maybe that's the time you're actually taking time to develop it. Like, we're not seeing the results. Why are you doing this? So I think if we have talks for the younger folks and the older ones, like, there's a mindset shift, so the parents can like kind of give them room and also understand that things have changed, which would also mean like understanding when maybe their children maybe have to go to a non-traditional school, if I can say, but also for the younger folks to understand that we're in different times, we have different paths, but maybe, and also like maybe having avenues to learn what we're talking about right now, learning about that maybe you really just need to focus on the gifts you have, like Gabrielle said, or the passion you have, or the interest you have, as opposed to comparing yourself. But another aspect to this, I think, is, like I said, we live in different times. So there is also like, we have so many sources of information. So social media, all these things, where so people are constantly comparing themselves to other people. They're like, I don't have this lifestyle, because now the world has become smaller. So even the pressures increase. So I think just having avenues where people can actually learn not only about career development, but actually also personal development, where you learn to believe in yourself, believe in your gifts, believe in what you're capable of, and believe that you also have your own journey. Gabrielle said it well, that everybody is put here to solve a particular problem. So knowing that what you have is not less than what somebody else has. So being aware of the impact of social media on us as well, because like once you're aware, you're able to actually guard yourself. You're able to like, okay, let me not compare myself. I know that's what it's trying to do to me, but like being aware of that. So I think like awareness, also avenues for learning like this, and also for like the older generation to be more understanding, if I can say, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was quite powerful as well. Yeah, thank God that we have at least such platforms as our Platters and even others being created by the youth.
Yes.
We've been even seeing people are struggling, especially in these times. That I know you've seen the trend of mental health issues. People have been dealing with mental health because of different pressures that we're facing right now. And I think that probably one of the reasons is that we don't have such platforms where we can share and learn as well. Yes. So talking about that, I would like to ask Gabrielle as we wind up, because time is catching us up. Yeah. So what? How do I put this? How do I started the journey of discovering my career. I'm building myself up to invest in this career, but how do I come across, like we all come across with different challenges. Nothing is easy as smooth as that. So, but how do I calm myself up? When do I know that I need to take time to, to sit back, reflect? How do I even surpass or face these challenges that I'm facing in my career in terms of other people, in terms of investment, in terms of actually finding the right person to go to for mentorship. All those challenges that people face, especially the youth, how do I handle them? If you could please answer us, Gabrielle.
Thank you so much, Miss Alice, for the question. And again, thank you so much, our Miss, for the intervention. I really appreciate it. I would say different things. First of all, again, I will come back on a role model that I have. He's a teacher, he's a rabbi, his name is Jesus. He said, for those who will persevere are the one who will be saved. I think that one of the points that gives a person to overcome challenges is not, first of all, to stand against them. First, sometimes it's only about you to persevere, just being patient. Sometimes it's just seasonal. It's just a day problem. Just you need to persevere. We have a lot of people starting business, but those who persevere in their businesses are few. There's a problem that comes up, they just give up. You see that a person who didn't came mentally ready to face to start his business, for example. You need to be ready that some challenge you will have to just go through them patiently and wait, because it's not all challenges that you have to stand against them. Some of them you just have to wait. For example, this COVID-19. How can you deal with COVID-19, for example? You will pray, yes, but COVID is still in Kigali. No matter how you pray, the flu is there. So you just have to wait. And by God's grace, in 1 year we waited, and the situation of the country is no longer as it started. Now there is vaccine, but we needed just to wait, persevere, go through the fire. Even God said, if you go through the fire, I will be with you. But you go through it, then you need to persevere. You need just to persevere. Number two, you need to know that wherever you are going, someone is coming from. This is very, very important. Ms. Grace tapped on it, and I want really to develop about it. Where you are going, someone is coming from. And here I'm saying this why. You need to know that what you want to achieve, someone already achieved. The white man called Solomon is one even the most successful man, apart from Jesus, in the entire book of the Bible. He said something important. He said, there is nothing new under the sun. This is very important. That what has been is what will be, and what is being done is what will be done. There is nothing new. The way you want to be, someone already became. It will demand you sometimes to put your pride down, to come and go at the feet of a person and be called a disciple of that person. Not a one thing thing. No, not a one thing thing. No, you need to go and find a mentor who is into your domain and learn from him. A person said that when you learn from a mentor, you are winning regarding times. For example, if what he did, it took him 20 years to achieve, when you are under his mentorship, what took him 20 years can take you only 1 week. Because when you are under mentorship, you win over time. You have advantage over time. And this is very important. But today's youth, because of social media, we think that we know everything. Google is not a library. You can't find all answers. You will see even doctors, for example, they will tell you, go for consultation. Don't go on Google and say, I'm sick about this. They can bring you cancer and you even cancer. You just have because today we think that because social media knowledge is easily accessible, we think that all things need to be known. No, you need to have a mentor who can tell you what I've been through is not only knowledge, it's also application. I went on the field. I faced this. Do this, because I believe also that it's easy to have a mentor because there is no great investment like investment in men. That's why everyone who's at an old age or a successful man, all people are ready to mentor. Because at the end of the day, you are like, what great investment? House are not investment. No. Greatest investment is in people. And knowing that what you have been achieving, you have 10 people, 12 people, 20 people who achieve more. And the more we become successful, the more we make the world a better place to live in. That's why everyone who achieves great things have the heart to mentor. That's why go find someone who's into your field and choose him wisely and go and submit and let him teach, let him correct you. The problem of our generation is that we don't want correction. And during mentorship, you need to be corrected. We think that we know everything. We think that we know everything, and we are not, we can be corrected. No, sometimes you have to be corrected for you to become someone and become something. Because if he was corrected by experience, he can correct you by words, and you win over time. This is very important. You need to understand mentorship is very important if you want to overcome challenges. And another thing I can say about challenges is that sometimes challenge comes for you to innovate. That's very important. Sometimes the best way to overcome a challenge is to innovate, change the way you do things. You can't do the same thing for years and still think that in every season you have the same result. Sometimes you change. This I'm saying, for example, for us who are in the domain of preaching the word of God. In a certain time, the whole year, we couldn't gather. Now, people who didn't innovate closed their churches, closed their ministry. Because now you can't gather people, because the health of the people comes before anything else. If people are dead, who will you preach tomorrow? So that's very important. So the preservation of the people's lives were more important. But people who couldn't evolve and change the way of doing things closed their ministries. Yet their ministry was supposed to impact lives, to impact many lives here and there. But because they were not able to innovate and change the way they do things, but yet there are some people, let me tell you the truth, who built the churches during COVID-19, who built the temple during COVID-19, because they knew how to change. They made their people Congress to go into social media. They told them how to use them. They were patient with them, and people were more used. So you need to know that all challenges sometimes comes for you to grow and do things differently. You can't do the same thing for years. There's some people. One of the things I don't like is nostalgia. I don't like nostalgia in my life, and I don't even like people. It's a way of saying I don't like people always speak about the past, because when you understand that the glory of the second house is greater than the former house, you don't desire what is behind, but you desire what is ahead. The better things are always ahead, not behind. That's very important. We need to come out of this state of nostalgia, of saying, the way things used to be in Rwanda in 2018. Rwanda, but now look at the world. No, there's some people became the first billionaire in this COVID. While you are saying that, I miss living without masks, there's some people, masks became their business. So you need to innovate, to change sometimes, to bring something new in what you do. And I know it's very stressful, and sometimes fear comes in when you have to change things that you used to do. Fear comes in, but you need to overcome that fear to do something. Sometimes when you even start it, no one supports you. Just give it a time. Just give it a time and do it. And the last thing I can say is consistency. This one, all people know. Be consistent in what you do. Be consistent in what you do. You are doing your career. You are using your gift. But for how many years? How long will you do it? This is the best question you need to ask people. People are like, I want to change Rwanda. Okay. For how long will you stay with that mind? Some people, they start saying, I want to change things. And when they get money, they become selfish. So the problem is not the idea and the passion you have. The problem is for how long will you have it? Consistency is very important. What you're doing, can you do it for 10 years? Can you do it for 20 years? Can you wait to do it for 30 years and then have a breakthrough on the 31st year? Some people, many youth, because we live in a world where things are going quickly, you go on WhatsApp quickly, you answer quickly. To them, even eating is very quickly. People can take their time and go and cookies. You just go in on the applications, and you go down and everything comes quickly. But with life, it's not like that. Life is not internet. Life is not Wi-Fi. Life is not applications. Life, it takes time. To build strong things, it will take you time. Today, we celebrate Rwanda and what Rwanda is becoming. But as the leaders, it took time. And it took 20 years. People doing the same thing, being hardworking. Consistency is very important to overcome challenges, because the more you do something, sometimes the problem you face doesn't change, but you become more stronger towards it. That's what I can say.
Wow, that's a heavy. That's a heavy package. We need some time to digest and meditate, as you say. Yeah, that's a heavy package. So we're wrapping up. I wanted us to use exactly 1 hour, as we said. Even though we said it, I think, yeah. So last question from our Miss Miranda 2021. Let me say it in full. Yeah. So with all this, I know that we really need more time and more platforms as this to learn more. And there are different youth out here who really need to get these platforms to access this kind of information. You know, because many of us, as you just said, have been misinformed. What guides their life? Yeah. So as you, as someone who has access to a platform that is able to impact, to reach to more youth, to impact many others, what can you tell other person who aspires to in whatever domain they want to be, when you reach to that place, when you have that platform, what can you tell them to, in what way can they use that platform to be impactful, to help even others once you get to that platform, as I say? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think speaking on a personal level, so first of all, I'm so grateful for this platform. There's times like I would like kind of just be doing things every day, and then one time it would hit me, and I'm like, oh my God, I have this platform. And I remember back in the day, I had all these things that I was interested in, that I wanted to talk about, that I wanted to do, and now I actually have a platform that I can use to actually talk about these things, start a conversation, or actually do something about them because of the support that I have. And I'm still, I think I'm still navigating it. I'm still learning how to leverage the platform. And I like what Gabriel said about persevering and not wanting instant gratification. I think, like, for example, in my case, you have 1 year and there's like a lot of pressure from to do stuff, and then you might kind of be like, okay, you know what? I know I had all these things, but because of the pressure, I'll just focus on one thing. But just kind of just remembering, it's not about people's timing. It's about just you focusing on the quality of the work. So sometimes I think people want to use the platform like we do, or other people actually want to, but like there's a lot of pressure to give instant results. So I think that's what I can say. Like, just be cautious. I'm also trying to navigate that. Be cautious of the pressure to give instant results. People saying, where what we haven't seen the output, the change. Oh, they want even like the change you make to be similar to the change somebody else made, but that's not what you're actually there for. Maybe you have something else entirely that you want to do, but maybe somebody's like, no, we want you to do it like this, we want you to do a CSR activity, but that's not where your heart is at. Maybe you want to create change in a different way. So I think that's what I've been navigating, trying to learn how to, like, I think Gabriel helped me, like, not wanting to move things as fast, especially because of the pressure. Just like, I guess, grounding yourself and giving yourself time and focusing on actually what were your goals, what is it that you wanted to solve. Because I know I had these problems that I wanted to solve, but with the pressure, it's like, okay, maybe let me forget them. Maybe I'll do them another time, but maybe it's the time to do them. But because of the pressure, it's really hard. So I think the most important thing is knowing how to navigate the pressure so you don't get like sidetracked to do what other people want you to do instead of what you want to do. Maybe you don't want to do a regular CSR activity. Maybe you want to approach it in a whole different way. So I think believing that is okay. So I think that's like what I'm learning is what I can share. So not yielding to pressure, not wanting to appease to people's instant gratification needs of like where is the output, and I guess just going through it. I think Ariel his message was really inspiring for me, like just working on it, I guess, consistently in spite of people's timing, and focusing on those problems you wanted to change, not what other people's want to change. Because if you try to solve what everybody what somebody else did, then your impacts won't be felt, because you're just doing what somebody else wants you to do. So I think just focusing on that's what that thing that actually made you angry, that you want to change, not because everybody, when they have this platform, they should go give food to the hungry or go to the hospital and feed the sick. I think just finding that which makes you angry and not sleep at night, and focusing on that, even if it doesn't make sense to other people, I think is what I would say. Yeah. Mm.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think you spoke to a lot of different minds. You spoke to a lot of, thank you so much. One final message from Gabriel, and then we wind up.
What can I think with all what is happening right now in the world, in our country, the only message we can give to people is hope. Even no matter how dark a night can be, it's not dark all the time. There is always a dawn. There's always a sunrise in the world, and let this teach us the way life goes. Okay, there is not always bad times. There are also good times, and I think, like the dream, for example, Pharaoh had, again in the constitution that we have here, he had a dream. He saw 7 years of plentiful harvest and 7 years of hunger. Okay, there is always this cycle: 7 years of being good and 7 years of struggles and problems. And no matter what you're going through, remember that there is always good times. And when you reach into good times, you need to understand that you're in good times for you to get ready for the bad times. The problem we have is that when we are in good times, we live as if there will be no trouble times. And when we are into troubles and problems and challenges like this, we think that there is no good times ahead. We should live wisely and understand that life is about cycle. There will be a night and then there will be a day. What I love with the scripture, the Bible says that there was a night and then there was a day. And that was called the first day, the second day. And dark always comes first. That's why I want to say to someone, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're facing right now, with your business, with your career, some people even following us now, they even left job. They've been chased from jobs. And they're like, what can I do again? Just get ready for the good times, because good times are ahead. Instead of going there, drinking, making parties, living as if you live the last day, get ready for the times where good times will come. Because times will come where people will be searching for you for again to work, though you have been chased. So when they will come to you, will they find you with the same old skills, or they find you with developed skills? Which means in this time, use this time of troubles or problem you're in to getting ready yourself, to position yourself for the times which are good. That's what Joseph did. When he went through troubles and problems, he didn't just went there. He developed the gift. When we study, for example, the story of, he started only having dreams. But when he was called by Pharaoh, he was able to interpret dreams. It means that the Joseph we know having dreams of him becoming great changed over the years. He developed himself. He went from having dreams to interpretation of dreams, because you need to develop yourself. Even if you're going through hard times, it's good, and it will be well. But in that moment, read. Take time to read. Take time to develop yourself. Take time to to go for workshops, takes time to go into programs like this. You will see few people are following, but if they put there a match, for example, 10,000 people will be watching people running after a ball. It will not gain anything for you. That's why you need to choose wisely where you're investing your time. Because when the good times will be, you have to position yourself so that when the king will look and say, in this country, where can we find a man wise as this man? He didn't only explain the dreams, he gave a solution for the dream. He was ready for that day. Can you be ready for the day where the problem in Rwanda will be over? Because now we're getting vaccine very soon. I even know that in probably 6 months, masks will be off. When all this problem will be off, some people's life will go up. Some people, it will even go down. Because when you go back to work, things will be changed and you will be still on the same level, which means in this time of problem, use this time to develop yourself, shape yourself, become a master in the domain that you're in, master in the domain you're in, and use your time wisely to develop yourself. When the opportunity on the door, believe me, your life will go to another level. That's what I can say. What I have for someone following me right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Miss Grace, do you have a final remark?
I think I'm thankful for this session, and I think Gabriel's message was really inspiring for me, so I'm glad he was with us. And yeah, I think we've said it all. So, but yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, all of you, for honoring our invitation. Tonight was a heavy package. I think I would advise everyone who has tuned in to also rewatch, because I'm rewatching this again.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you so much. We hope to have you next time when we come knocking on your door as well.
Yes.
There was a yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we have a Learning for Change every Saturday. Every Saturday of the week, we have a Learn for Change, and then at the end of the month, we have another program called Reading for Change. Yeah, and also Mentorship for Change. It's ongoing, where we link a mentor to a mentee. Yeah, so we have all those 3 programs running in Afflatus Africa, and yeah, we hope to be making really impacts, especially on our peers, the youth, because it's not only in Rwanda, so as it's in Africa, because there is also Afflatus Africa in Uganda as well. Yeah, and across the continent. Yeah, so thank you so much for tonight's package. It was really helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you all. Have a good night. Thank you.
Have a good night so much.
Good night.
Good night.